Hawkeye fans, welcome back. Well, Floyd is coming home, all the way back to Iowa City where he rightfully belongs. We're going to recap that Minnesota game, and we've got a fantastic interview with Mason Richman. He might be one of the best dressed Hawkeyes we've had on this set. Can't wait for you to listen to that. And there's no game this week. It's a bye week, so we won't have a preview. We hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to Talkin Hawks, presented by Hillsbank.
No matter where you are in life, Hillsbank is here to help you succeed.
Whether you're buying your first house, saving for your child's future, or preparing for retirement, you can count on the people at Hillsbank for the support you need to reach your goals.
It's easy to connect with a banker in person, over the phone, or on hillsbank.com.
Because we believe banking is better through human connection.
Hillsbank is an equal housing lender and FDIC member.
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
How's it going?
God is good.
How's your day?
Bringing home the bacon.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, to turn me down there. Turn down for what, though? You know, like we brought Floyd home.
I know. That was so exciting and in dominant fashion, which we love to see.
The second half, yeah.
I have to say, that was one of my favorite games that we've watched because the kids were asleep. And our kids go to bed clearly pretty early.
Well, I mean, we recorded it.
We
on
recorded
Hulu,
it,
so
and then eventually we caught up live, like at the very end.
we didn't have to watch commercials. It was great.
That it was beautiful. That was a nice thing. Thanks, Hulu. No, but then we like have this couch downstairs that we like, you can put it together and it creates like this whole thing. And the dog was down there just like cuddling, which I know you don't love. But then we had cookies and it was up on the, what's it called? Projector. I mean, for once I could actually see a game. It's hard for me to see everything when I'm just down on the south
Well,
end.
and you're working.
And I'm working, you know?
Yeah.
The focus is sometimes on other things. But last night, prime.
All Hawks.
It was amazing. And a great game.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of fun in the beginning. It was like, oh, back and forth. It's going to be a good game. It's pretty exciting. And then, of course, you really love to pull away. Like eventually. It's like, to me, that's what makes a good game. Like in the beginning, keep it close. That's fun. I can do that for a little bit. But don't bring it down to the wire. I don't like that kind of stuff. Hurts my heart eventually. And so last night, that was my kind of game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tale of two halves, which we've seen now a couple times.
Yeah.
But that goes to show that we're willing and able to make adjustments at halftime. At least the last 2 weeks for sure. Being able to utilize some different things in the run game, keep Caleb Johnson fresh to a point. I mean, 200 yards, leading the nation. Thank you, commenters, for letting me know.
Comment.
The people that comment. The commenters.
I was thinking commentators. Continue. Keep going.
People leaving comments, letting me know. And another 3 touchdowns. Like he's unstoppable. Mm-hmm. He's great.
Yeah. He's got like this really nice, like, I don't like to use this word because it sounds so unnatural coming out of my mouth, but he has like swag about him. That he's just like calm, cool, and collected. Like he'll get a little excited, gets a little juice like when he scores, that kind of thing. But he gets off on the sideline. He's like, it's not a big deal, guys. I'm just going to do it again when we go back out there. Relax.
The NFL build is pretty crazy too. Like absolutely has the NFL build.
Yeah. It's exciting. I think it was David Eichel was like, I didn't think I would see somebody like Sean Green in an Iowa uniform like ever in my lifetime. But there is somebody now. Kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's great. Super fun to watch last night.
We'll start on the defensive side.
You want to start on the defensive side?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 turnovers. You know, I talked about it on our preview that Minnesota was +7 in the turnover margin. So the fact that we used that for good instead of evil helped out. Jay Higgins actually leading to our first touchdown.
Yeah, that was the weirdest interception ever. He was just kind of like, thanks. Like,
yeah.
That was so strange. I don't know if like their quarterback got confused what colors they were wearing that week. It was really weird, wasn't it? You're like,
it was just behind him.
By like 3 yards, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was just behind him. We got a little bit of pressure and so he threw it to Jay, which helps. And then a tip drill goes to Quinn Schulte. Needs to work on his back juke a little bit. His little jump cut was a little rough. We had him on last year.
He doesn't need it. It's not a big deal.
Either way.
Did what he had to do.
Came up with the ball. It was a big time. But there was a span kind of the last part of the second quarter where Minnesota went down and kind of had the momentum. So we scored early. They go down, they hit a great touchdown. I mean, we're not really looking for the ball. We're playing the receiver. And most of the time what the DB's doing there is once the receiver's hands go up, the DB's going to play through his hands to not get the pass interference call. But he doesn't want to turn his head and then miss the ball when it's coming by. So there's like two different ways you can play. You can either turn and try and play the ball, but sometimes you lose your guy. Or you play the guy and hope that you make the play through his hands so that we don't lose the ball.
That's so interesting that you bring that up because sometimes I see the guys not turning their head and I'm like, turn your head. But there's two different.
There's a technique to it.
Yeah. When you said the second option, I was like, yeah, that's true. If you turned your head and he just made a little move, like, then you'd be like, what are you doing?
Right. And you'd be like, why did you yes, that's exactly what they say. Stay on your guy. It's like, well, you can't look at both.
Yeah.
And Castro did a pretty good job of trying to play through his hands. They had some big tight ends, like big tight ends.
I can't remember what number he was.
It was 86, was one of the tall tight ends that you pointed out. I don't think that's the one who scored, but.
He made, I can't think of his name, number 8.
It was Deshaun Lee.
Deshaun Lee. He made him look so small. From like 10
Deshaun, we love you. Don't take that.
It's not that we don't like him. It's just the point of like, that guy was massive.
He was really big. He's really big. So anyway, he threw it up and away for where Castro couldn't play through his hands. So the technique for playing through your hands is once the receiver's hands go up, DB you can't swat the hands because that's going to get pass interference, but you have to play through kind of where the middle point is because that's where the ball is going to be. So he tries to play through that. Unfortunately, the guy makes a great play, touchdown. And Castro just kind of, if you look at it, he kind of spins out and like claps a little bit like, I know I can make that play, but that was a great play. Like something like that. And we know that he's a fierce competitor. Until he didn't allow it to happen later. But then they hit like a swing screen kind of thing where we had two of our guys run into each other and they scored. So again, like not something that you would expect from an Iowa defense, but they made the adjustments at halftime. We also got decent pressure between our 4 up front. We blitzed a little bit, but I mean, it's all about those front 4 getting pressure. One of the main things that was interesting too is Deshaun Lee was second on the stat sheet in tackles. You don't want to see a corner have 8 tackles. Now, when they threw it to his side, and we're playing off coverage, we're going to give you a hitch. We're going to give you a hitch. We're going to give you a hitch. We just have to make sure they don't give up the hitch and go like we did to Troy and we didn't to Minnesota. But 4 solo tackles. So he's making the open field tackles, which is good. But we also took Minnesota out of what they want to do. I mean, Minnesota's been, we're going to run first, run second, run third, run fourth, and then maybe now we'll pass. Has been kind of the mantra for Minnesota and PJ Fleck really since he's been there. They threw the ball 37 times.
Wow. That
is not Minnesota football. Now, granted, that number's skewed because when you get behind, you're going to throw more. But even when it was like 21-7, I want to say, like they were, or 21-14, excuse me, they were really trying to throw the ball on us because we were not allowing them to run. I want to say they had 75 or less rushing yards. And again, Minnesota has built themselves to be these run teams with these giant offensive linemen that can get off the ball. And we just forced them into something they didn't want to do, which is why we were advantageous when he's back having to throw that often.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else you want to say about the defense? I really liked, sorry, were you looking at your notes?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
You can't remember it.
You don't have to put me on blast in front of everybody.
No.
It was a shutout in the second half. That's the only thing I was going to say.
There was a couple of Castro's tackles that I really liked.
They looked really violent.
He was like so spazzy. Is the only word that I could think of. And he like, one of them, he like, at one point, it was like a Superman swing. He like had the guy up around his shoulders and then the guy like kind of kept going. Cause I think maybe it was like one of their bigger tight ends. Guys, yeah. Okay. And his feet like came up and he just like swung around with him. It was so funny. It looked like something that like Dax would do if he was trying to tackle you. Just, like, yes. Oh, but he did eventually get him down. But yeah, he had a couple of ones like that I was like, what? What the heck? Got the job done, but it just looked kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, defense looked pretty good. You know who also looked really good?
Who?
Reese Dakin.
Yeah.
I was tired of everybody like getting mad at how different our punting was.
Yeah.
It's a freshman punter.
Mm-hmm. From Australia.
From Australia. So we had Tori on last year. If you haven't looked at it, check it out. Who talking about how like the sweet spot is different on a college football than it is on the Australian rules, rugby football or Australian youth football, whatever he was used to playing before. It's different. And we just came from an All-American who got drafted at the 4th. Like punters don't get drafted. Mm-hmm. And now he's still doing great things in the NFL, but like you're going to expect a little bit. And you actually brought up a point when we were talking about the punt coverage team. Who else also left?
Oh, Cooper.
Yeah, like one of our great gunners, like that was down on the ball. So it's like, it's going to be a little bit different, but I'll tell you what, Reese was bombing them against Minnesota. And I loved it.
Yeah, you were like, he's feeling it. Speaking of that, okay, we're going to go to,
the flex.
No, the flex. Because he got knocked
because he got knocked over.
It's so opposite of football. To be like, yeah, I got tackled, and then like flex about it. Usually the person doing the tackling would be.
You would think.
Doing the flexing.
No, in Australia, I mean, it's a little different.
That's so funny. Hopefully we can get him on the pod here pretty soon.
Yes, that'd be fun.
That would be so fun. I was going to bring something up. Oh, the offense. I was talking about how you're like, yeah, he's feeling it. Like the commentators, as I was saying earlier with that word, they were like, I don't know. I think it had to have been in the second half. They were like, Lester, offensive coordinator, really feeling it right now. Pan up to him. And he like takes it. He had his headset. He like moves his microphone up, grabs his glass of water, takes a little sip, goes like this and just like wipes off the front of his thing like that to like smooth it out. And then it was like almost like he heard the commentators like, no, you're right. I am totally feeling it right now. I've called a lot of really good plays in a row. Thank you for noticing. And then he just like calmly brings his mic back down, goes back to what he was doing. But it was like the timing of it was so perfect.
It's like a lead back, like everybody's.
Yeah.
Like that. It was great.
And like just the gentle sip of water. Like,
well, it's the smallest cup I think I've seen. Like it's like one of those Dixie cups that you would get like at the at the water fill station at like a normal, I don't know, like an office.
Yeah,
like
he can only afford to take small sips. But just like it just looked like so boss of him, just like, oh, and then wipe the shirt.
Yes.
These are the things we notice during games.
Only the important stuff.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, the offense. Obviously, as you said, tale of two halves, which you love to say that, but yeah.
Well, it keeps happening.
I know.
Coach Ferentz actually had an interesting post-game presser when he said, we're going to find a passing game eventually.
Oh, yeah, that was in not the presser.
Not the presser, sorry, on-field.
The on-field interview with the sideline, yeah.
Yeah, because I think we were 11 of 19 for 62 yards.
Yeah.
That's what we call not that much.
Yep.
So hopefully we continue to push that stuff forward. But what I really liked is we were getting Cade easy completions. So first down, bootleg, hit the tight end, let him get, 5, 6, even 8 to 10 yards, let him get out in space. Because even if he gets 5 yards on first down is a good play. Anything really over 3 yards is a good play on first down. So we were trying to utilize a couple different things there. And not only that, utilize Caleb Johnson, like I talked about in the preview of he's so dominant, you have to play action with him. Like that has to be the majority of your game. You don't need a ton of drop back. You have to utilize him to create opportunities for other guys. So that was good. Now there was a drop with Washington Jr. Late in the game. He was running it out. It was a great route. They're playing off coverage. He's pushing it at the corner's outside shoulder and then snaps it off in front of him. Hits him in the hands. He got to catch it. And I know that he's a converted running back. Actually, I think on the roster he still is considered a running back. But anyway, like that's one he got to come down with. There was one kind of over the middle of the field. I think it was early in the game. Caleb Brown, was in the slot, kind of made a move. He was running like a glance, which the way I would describe that is like it's a 5-step and then 45-degree angle. So it's like a 5-step post. And he didn't get his head around in time. Cade had already thrown it. And I'm pretty sure Cade was pretty mad about it and was like, turn your head around. I think there were a few more words than that, based on my lip reading skills.
Matt has really good lip reading skills. It's the best. This is a person you want to watch a game with, any game, because he could be like the coach. Sometimes be like, wait, rewind that. Tell me what that person's saying. And he can do it. It's the best.
No, that's true. So Cade said, turn your head around. So it's like little things like that they're still working on some of the timing.
I have a question. This is totally, well, it's kind of random, but
great. When
you say like, oh, it's a 5-step. So at some point, like when you hear that route being called, at some point in your career, do you not have to count your steps or do you always count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turn in your head?
So it's funny you say that. There's so many different ways to count it. Okay. So some people say 5 steps and I'm breaking in. So if my right foot's up, it goes left, right, left, right, left. I know I'm going to break off my left foot. Some people would say it's my 3rd outside step. So my right foot is up. So left is my 1st outside step. Right. Left is my 2nd outside step. Right. 3rd, my next step off my left. And then you cut there. So it's 3 steps. So you only have to count to 3 instead of trying to count every revolution.
Okay. That makes sense.
So
At
it'd be
first,
like,
you
it's my
lost me
third
for a
step.
second there, and I was like, why would you do it
So
that way?
now I count all my individual steps.
You would totally do that. That makes so much sense to me.
Based on what?
I'm just saying it makes sense.
Because I'm calculated?
Probably.
Because I'm accurate?
What was that?
That's a DJ Khaled shout out. I'm pretty sure you said accurate. But because I'm accurate in what I do?
I guess. I'm not saying. I'm just saying it makes sense.
Anyway, so yes, I'm thinking 5 steps.
Okay.
But you got to be able to sprint through it. Like our outs when we ran with Coach Brian Ferentz, it was like 6 steps and out. So like I had to think 6 steps, or I could think my third inside step, but I would count 6 and I knew I was going to be roughly at about 10 or 11 yards and then snap it off.
Gotcha.
So like you do think about like, no matter what, I know where I should approximately break at, but I still count steps.
Got it.
Like even a slant, 3-step slant, I still count to 3. Just to be exact.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he
Makes
needs to get his head around. So as soon as that third outside, 5th total, a 12-yard step happens, and his head should turn right now so he can beat the safety.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
and he didn't turn his head around in time. He like stuck his foot, set his angle, and then looked. And by set his angle, I mean, once he stepped to the post, he was looking at like, okay, where does my angle need to be? And then back to the quarterback. But the problem is the ball's already out.
Gotcha.
Like that, you only really want to set your angle on a deep route. So if it's like a post or a corner, something that where the ball is going to be up, and by post I mean like an outside post, like a deep post, to where I set my angle, be like, boom, I stick my foot in the ground. I'm looking at the inside goal post, for example, because I'm running the deep post. I want 3 steps to the post. Now I can look for the ball because I know it's going to be a high arcing ball, but one that's going to be in the middle of the field off your 5th step. It's going to be humming because he's got to beat that safety that's over the top.
Gotcha. Okay. That totally makes sense to me. But those are the little things too that when you were just watching that with like the average naked eye, you'd be like, well, why did he throw it? He wasn't even looking at him. Why did he throw it that early?
Yeah,
like,
ball head should be around.
Because it was all timing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the timing really isn't like, well, if the timing's off, the play doesn't work. He just expects him to turn his head around. Like they're playing off man coverage.
Well,
he expects him to turn his
beat
head.
the safety, so he has to throw the ball out.
Correct.
For the safety of his player, right?
There you go.
See? I could be a quarterback at this point.
Oh. I think they're having open tryouts. Do you want to go?
Are they really?
No, they're not having open tryouts.
Okay, continue.
I need a drink after that. Cold water. Cleanse the palate after.
Keep telling everybody that's what's in there.
It is.
Okay.
Until I cough after I drink one. Like, as long as I can avoid that, it's water. No, so I thought obviously the pass game is going to have to continue.
There was one
along.
more that was it with Weegan, and he was like out near the boundary, and he kind of like went for it with one hand.
That was a corner route. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then, but you were like, he should have turned his shoulders and like laid out for it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like,
is that more of like an older receiver type thing to be able to do and like recognize and go for, or is it just like?
I have a hard time not seeing him lay out for that ball. And this is not a direct, obviously I'm not meaning to critique anybody. I just think it's hard to make that one-handed catch. And so I think if there's a different way to try and get your 2 hands on the ball, it's a lot more secure. Even if you got to dive and run out of bounds, or dive and you hit the ground, but you're able to catch it through contact. I think there's got to be something there that can help make that a more catchable ball. Because I don't think it's a bad ball. I really think it's a good spot where only Caden Weegan can get it. That being said, we got to find some way to get 2 hands on the ball.
Gotcha. Okay. What else? Anything else?
Well, Caleb Johnson, dog, we know that. But some of the stuff that we were drawing up, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was Caleb Johnson's second touchdown. I think it was his second touchdown. The entire line is going to the right. So what that does to the defense is everybody also goes there. The problem when you do that is the end guy on the line of scrimmage can just, they're taught to go down the line of scrimmage essentially. So if your guy leaves you, be ready for somebody to come back or be ready for a cutback or something. So you're supposed to stay home. So you just kind of filter down the line of scrimmage. You chase paint. Paint being the other guy's jersey. So you chase that paint.
I love all of those like isms that you use.
So you should chase the paint, going down, filling the gap. And what ends up happening is there's nobody to block him. So he could just chase down the play if we didn't use what's called a seal block or a wham block. Kind of depends on it depends on who's doing it. But in my realm between the 2 offenses I was a part of, one was called a seal, one was called a wham. It was pretty similar to what you wanted to do. Anyway, it's meant to be an inside zone, and the running back, turned receiver Terrell Washington is on the right-hand side. He runs across and has to take on a D end. This is like the bang play that we watched like 2 or 3 times. He lights up the D end, and the play doesn't hit in the middle where it's supposed to. So Caleb Johnson bounces it, and then that's where you see Cade go out in front, attempt to make a block. He doesn't touch anybody until they're like 4 yards in the end zone.
Okay,
but I appreciate the effort.
He looked fast, though.
I appreciate the effort. Jacob Gill doing a phenomenal job on the outside. We'll get to more about Jacob Gill here in a second. Doing a great job on the outside blocking. But the fact that we got a wide receiver who's willing to go in there and do that kind of dirty work against somebody who's going to outweigh him for probably almost 100 pounds.
Oh, he got, what the commentator said, he got cleated.
Decleated.
Like, decleated. Yeah. His feet just like right off the ground.
But I mean, like, that's a phenomenal play. And then we're able to turn it into a touchdown. But the willingness to block is a huge thing. It's a great thing.
Cool. Are you ready to get into your Unsung Hero brought to you by JB Roofing?
I'm ready to get into my JB Roofing Unsung Hero.
Okay, go.
Jacob Gill. And I know I just talked about him on the previous play. And Terrell Washington Jr. did a great job on that seal block. But Jacob Gill on Caleb Johnson's third touchdown, did a great job blocking. And really, the offensive lineman should win Unsung Hero every game that Caleb Johnson's in. Love you guys. Mason Richman, Logan Jones. We've had some of you guys on. We appreciate you. But I'm a wide receiver, so I'm going to give it to Jacob Gill. So on this particular play, really all night, we kind of had tight splits with our receivers. We wanted them close to the line of scrimmage and bring people into the box, which is kind of counterintuitive for what you normally do, where you want to spread people out and then hit it underneath. Because they've got less guys or whatever. So we bring everybody in so that way we know their safeties are going to be the fill guys, meaning that those guys are going to be more dangerous than the corner. So Jacob Gill's job in this particular one is to dig out a safety. And what I mean by dig out a safety is he's going to be flying downhill. You got to meet him and just wham, give him one of those. You get your shoulder down because you know it's going to be a big collision. And he does that just far enough for Caleb Johnson to be able to cut off his butt and then go. Both guys go down. I think Jacob Gill's back is on the turf when Caleb Johnson makes his cut. But the fact that he's willing to go in there and that's a bang bang kind of hit, does that enough of a hole is made between the offensive line and Jacob Gill, forcing that safety just over enough so that way he can make the cutback and then Caleb Johnson does the rest. But just a great job going in there, doing his job. That is a thankless job, similar to the offensive lineman, although I'm thanking you right now. And typically wide receivers don't want to block. We know that this is different in Iowa. We expect to block. Like Reese Vanderzee, I see him a lot, doing really good job blocking. Jacob Gill on the other touchdown did great job blocking. But to know that this is part of what's expected of you and then to do it at a high level, I think is a good thing. So digging out the safety, Caleb Johnson ends up scoring. JV Roofing Unsung Hero, Jacob Gill.
Great. Well, should we get into our interview?
Yeah, no preview. Do you want to, I know you touched on it in the intro, but the bye week coming up, we're not going to have anything. We'll probably recap a little bit about the bye week on what was expected this past week, but we don't really need to preview anything. So instead, we're just going to give the full thing on Mason Richman here.
Perfect. Well, we hope you love it because this was one of our favorite conversations. And you just never know what to expect out of an Iowa offensive lineman because there's so many different personalities you can get. And Mason's has got to be one of the funnier ones. He's
almost too nice to be a hard-nosed tackle.
Just lovely to talk to. So with that, let's get into our interview. We hope you love it. Need a new roof, gutter, or siding in Eastern Iowa? Call JB Roofing and Construction, the local and reliable roofer with over 20 years of experience. They do one roof at a time, unlike others who juggle multiple projects and cut corners. They also serve a 45-mile radius around Kelowna and help you with any insurance claims. Don't wait. Call 319-656-ROOF or visit their website, jbroofingkelowna.com for a free estimate. JB Roofing and Construction, the small-town roofer you can trust. Matt, did you know that Iowa City Tire does more than just tires?
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been servicing vehicles in the corridor for 40 years.
Right. But did you really know that before someone had to tell you?
No.
Check out how they're doing things in a very different way at Iowa City Tire and Service, where service actually comes first.
The Appliance Barn offers a wide range of high-quality appliances at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're in the market for a new refrigerator, dishwasher, or washing machine, they've got you covered.
They also have a delivery and setup department to ensure your appliances get delivered and installed quickly. To find out more, visit appliancebarn.com.
All right, Hawkeye fans, today joining us from the Iowa offensive line is Mason Richman. Mason, how you doing?
Very good. How are you guys?
Really good. Thank you so much for dressing up.
Of course. I didn't know the formality here. I went both ways,
No, it's about time somebody takes this seriously.
A little bit. Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
you were
look great.
We just forgot the bag with our real clothes. So
Okay.
it's just a whole mix up.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
We were supposed to look better.
Next time if there's a sequel, for sure.
Totally. Yes. How's it going? How are you doing?
Good. Feel good. Obviously the team's doing pretty well right now. So
Mhm.
riding that and season's moving on. We're kind of in the thick of things. Already 3 games behind us, so it's like a quarter of the
Crazy.
season already gone.
Isn't that so weird when we have 3 home games in a row?
Yeah.
It is just like bizarre because then you get it's kind of like a grind, just like being at home. I mean, you guys play every week aside from bye weeks, but it's a kind of a grind, like
Yeah.
being at home all 3 weeks. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like that's already like 3 down, only 4. Like that's not a lot.
Right. They kind of get grouped together. You almost feel like because
Yeah.
you're just in such a routine.
Yes.
It'll be nice in some ways to get on the road, but also gonna miss that Kinnick crowd for sure.
Yes, definitely. It was pretty good on Saturday, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it was a good environment. I was just glad, sometimes it doesn't exactly get all full, but it was a packed crowd. I think for that game, it was a big game, and obviously the gold out feels cool. A lot of people wear black a lot of times, so we see the gold rush of a crowd. It's pretty cool. So
It was.
This
It
is
was
not
really
how
good.
we start this segment ever.
I was just
Laura.
going over like what's been happening,
Laura.
what's been
Yeah,
going
that's-
on.
we get
current
to that.
events. Do you start with that, or you get to
current
current events?
No, we
eventually?
always start with tell us about your upbringing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mason, usually how we do this
Golly.
is typically we just
Am I
start
the
from,
host?
Yeah, sorry, from the very beginning.
Are you guys co-hosts, or is there a?
I'm
Usually
usually
it's
the
host and
Okay.
then afterthought.
Okay,
Mason, I just don't know a whole lot about like the game of football.
sure.
Never played a snap in my life. Super open
That's
about the
true.
fact that
A lot of
I
people
don't-
haven't.
I don't want to know the ins and outs of it. I just don't. Don't have that like love the game, love all the things about the atmosphere, but Matt is he's the analyst and then I do the rest of it.
Okay.
I'm like the
That
color
makes sense.
commentator.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
that works.
Yeah. So now you got the rundown.
Gotcha.
Welcome
Cool.
to Talkin Hawks. But how we usually like to start is just like from the very beginning, from like when you were a kid. Sports you like to play, like
Where you're from,
siblings, where you're
stuff like
from,
that.
all that good stuff. So we'll just start with that. Like, where are you from?
So I'm from Leawood, Kansas,
Okay.
which is a suburb of a suburb, if you will. There's Overland Park area of Kansas City. It's pretty popular now on the Kansas side of Kansas City. So kind of from a bigger city, bigger town, but definitely had that classic high school experience with, the neighborhood and stuff, and a rich history of football at my high school. So growing up, played football, basketball. I do have a funny story. It's rare that I tell this, but another sport I played baseball for a little bit. I played soccer, and
You're a
obviously
big soccer player, man.
literally big. I'll emphasize that for now. So when I was playing, one time, obviously I was 4 or 5, heard it from my mom. She said I came off the field and, I was extremely tired or something, and told her, my knees can't breathe right now. My knees can't breathe, Mom. I'm so tired. Basically saying I was exhausted, right? All the running around, not for me. I think that's where she kind of figured out, let's start feeding this kid and get him a little heavier to play on the line and stuff. But no, I played football and basketball for most of my life, definitely for sure. But baseball as a right fielder, so I didn't have a long shot career there. I think that's usually where they stick the 9th guy in. But football and basketball definitely in high school, and played defensive line at my high school, Blue Valley High School. Then obviously got recruited here. Went to a camp as a D lineman. Didn't do a single O-line drill, and then 2 days later they offered me an O-line. So
That's
not
wild.
sure what you want to take from it. There's 2 different ways you could say I'm a really good athlete or a not
You're
so good
so
athlete.
bad at defensive line.
Sure, yeah, no. Coach Bell was really cool about it. So just said there was a better opportunity for me at offensive line, and whatever was going to help me get to play college football somewhere. That's all I cared about. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
That
a
is-
very like bang bang recruiting story.
that's right.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I was almost, oh gosh, I almost just gave myself credit right there. That's a rarity for me. Like Lucas Van Ness never started. I didn't start in high school till I was a senior.
Really?
So
Did you go to a big school?
yeah, so I went to a
you
bigger
said
high
suburb
school.
of a suburb.
Right. Yeah, it's just within, I guess. I don't know. It's
Like, how many kids you
it's a
graduated
different
with?
police department, I guess. I would always think.
okay,
So
okay.
there's going to be a different city there, but no, the town's like 200,000 people, or the
The town is 200,000
the city,
people.
the city of Overland Park. So it's Blue Valley High School. We had 400 in my class.
My
Right.
goodness.
Where'd you come from? How many?
Well, so we talked off air that I went to a small school, but I was also the second largest or third largest in all of South Dakota.
Okay.
And I graduated with 265.
Okay. That's good size for South Dakota, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Like I said, third throughout the entire state. Not that like the class. We had 3 classes of football. We had B, A, and AA, and that is it.
B.
Yeah. Well, 9B, B, A, AA.
Gotcha.
Like, but to hear like a town of 200,000.
Yeah, that's not the right name of the
That's still crazy
metropolitan area. So we had 400 kids in my class.
That's still crazy though.
Yeah. So a big city, but
so did you play both sides in high school or just D-line?
Not really. So I wore number 88, but that was just for tight end emergencies, I guess. Growing up in Kansas City, I was a huge Tony Gonzalez fan. So
sure.
wore that. I've been wearing that since the 2nd grade. I even played like O-line in 7th grade wearing 88. So
That's awesome.
I just always have, and until I got here and they said, all right, now we need to change your number
Right.
finally. So I had to scratch off that tattoo I had, or no, I didn't have a tattoo, but I played mostly defensive end, and then I was one of the bigger kids. So if we had to get a run play going on offense, I was in on that. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So kind of flip-flopped around. So you're 6'6".
Right.
Okay.
With shoes on, definitely. It's like 6'5", 7/8.
Hey, there might be he's 6'6".
Yeah. Scouts watching.
Yeah. Any scouts out there listening?
6'6"
Definitely 6'6".
and a half.
Yeah. With the helmet on, with the pads.
Right.
You don't have to tell them that.
No. Yeah. You know
At
what?
that point, you might be like 6'7" from
Maybe.
my
Probably
measurements.
6'8".
Just just for good measure. No, but was there ever a moment, being as tall and as like big as you were in high school? Because I don't think you find a lot of high schoolers that are probably that size. Was there ever a moment you're like, well, maybe basketball is my sport, or no? Was that not?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, someone had a perfect description of basketball the other day. When I realized I was the enforcer, the you've got fouls, and play a little defense in the post every once in a while. I realized it wasn't for me, but football was a bigger sport in my high school, so I think I almost fell in love with that. But as a kid, I always watched Kansas basketball, so like that was the only college experience I ever grew up with.
Who would have been playing at Kansas when you were in school?
For basketball,
It wouldn't have been like Mario Chalmers.
No.
Right?
That was I don't even remember that year, honestly. I just know that we won and carried that forever. But for me, I grew up with like the Thomas Robinson, and then once we started getting these freshmen like Andrew Wiggins.
Oh yeah.
Or I went to a game. Perry Ellis. That's my guy. Shout out Perry Ellis. I don't think he'll listen, but
You don't have to. He definitely knows about the podcast.
Yeah, I think he does. He's a big tier 1 fan. Growing up with him, Devontae Graham. It was glory years. So not many Kansas basketball fans up here.
Rightfully so.
When I came up here is when I first got my like football. Like college football's a big deal. I realized that when I got here. I kind of thought just pays for college kind of a thing, but it's definitely been more than that up here, and it means a lot to people. So
yeah, especially with the emergence of NIL, which we can get into that later.
Sure.
But that's got to be kind of a crazy thing too, to come from that perspective where it's like, college football. Yeah, just go play the sport.
Then with that in mind, you said you went to a camp. Like, what other schools did you look at? Did you look at any other schools, or was it like Iowa got on the horn early? Like, what was?
Honestly, I'd say Iowa got on the horn late, if anything.
Okay.
Wasn't till a camp going into my senior year in June, a big man camp or a lineman camp. Other schools, I guess I was choosing between really would be K-State a little bit, but I never really got a scholarship offer officially from them.
What does that mean?
So
that's a weird way to phrase it, right?
And I phrase it like that on purpose. They had recruited me for a while, and they just needed to see so much out of me. Versus Iowa saw one camp, and like I said earlier, didn't see me do a single line drill, and still gave me the scholarship opportunity. So that was a big deal to me that they believed in me here enough to know what I was about. So.
That's so interesting. We always, it seems like we've been hearing so many of those stories just through talking with student athletes, that Iowa just has this knack of finding, like, not to call you like a diamond in the rough, right? Like, oh, you just happened to get a chance. Like, clearly you were chosen to come to a camp for a reason. But to be able to say, you know what, actually, I think this guy would do better at offensive line. Like, I just find that so interesting that you hear so many of those stories at Iowa, or like,
Logan Jones, Tyler
Logan Jones,
Linderbaum.
yeah, like all that kind of stuff. Or take a guy from tight end and throw him down at the offensive line.
Right.
You hear that story a lot too. So yeah, I just find that so interesting. Yet another story like that.
Yeah, there's something about. I think it's just something they're looking for.
Mhm.
And obviously Coach Ferentz and the staff have a really good eye for it. Another thing, they've had a rich history of taking quarterbacks and moving them all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's just a cerebral thing maybe too. But at the end of the day, there's a certain type of person, off the field I think they're looking for. And
Yes.
and if you're willing to buy into that, they'll be able to put you in a place to be successful. So
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess I didn't think about that perspective too.
Yet
'Cause
another
that is,
culture part.
Yeah,
Just talk to Logan about it.
yeah, we actually did. I feel like we get that from a lot of guys. But do you have any siblings?
I have one. Get that on camera right there.
Yeah, little sip.
I have one younger brother.
Okay,
Yep. So he's a senior in high school right now. He's going to play football at K-State.
no way.
Yep. So
Okay.
kind of funny. It's actually really funny because we were opposites. We both got recruited by the same two schools, K-State and Iowa, really.
Mhm.
And I chose Iowa because K-State wasn't recruiting as much. He chose K-State because Iowa wasn't recruiting as much. So
That's
full
interesting.
circle, but both great programs. So
Yeah. Okay. And what position does he play?
linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yep. And punter. And he's the athlete.
Gotcha.
Right. But I'm the bigger guy, so I'll still beat him in the fights. That's all that matters to me.
Understood. Who's faster?
Who's faster? I'll say him. It's weirdly close, I feel like.
Okay.
Is he a slow linebacker or are you a fast
no,
lineman?
I think I'm just a fast lineman.
Okay.
Fair.
If we're running 100 yards, let's be frank, I'm not running 100 yards in general. So won't be doing that for a long time in my life. But no, it'd be closer, I think, than he thinks.
This is one question that we get a lot with linemen. Like, did you wrestle at all or have any inkling to wrestle?
No, so wrestling, my buddies around me wrestled, but for me, it was more of a basketball, and it was during the same
it's the
time
same
of year.
time.
So that was
Gotcha.
kind of tough for that. I think it might be different here, or it might be
I
at the
can't
same
I think
remember.
time.
it might be the same.
Same time.
I think
right.
so.
She kind of had to
I think you're
choose,
right.
but I guess I chose basketball. And sometimes they look for that in certain, offense linemen. I think half
Oh, yeah.
of us,
Hand placement, leverage, all that stuff.
yeah, and half of us are either basketball players or wrestlers,
Mhm.
and you can tell who's who. And they play a certain, I think basketball kind of translates to pass protection a little bit better than wrestling and run blocking. So that's something for you, Laura, to keep on your mind when you're watching.
Well,
Let
just
me-
do one of those.
Let me ponder that for a minute.
Compartmentalize that one.
I don't know what exactly that means. Cool. So, question for you as far as basketball goes. Logan Jones, I'm pretty sure, was he the one that was feeling pretty
He
confident?
said there's people who think there's hoopers on the team. I'm pretty sure he said that.
Yeah. Were you one of them?
Are you a wannabe hooper?
Mm-hmm.
A wannabe?
Yeah.
No, I
So
don't
Mason,
think
I mean-
he's talking about me. I may talk a big game, but I mean,
Like if you go down to the rec, are you putting up at least 5-10 points?
yeah, I'll get a scrappy 5 points, like a offensive rebound or I won't get back on defense. Little
Like a
cherry pick. That's at least 4 points. So,
That's fair.
I like passing. That's my thing in basketball. So I think I could be
Interesting.
like a facilitator kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I think I could beat Logan one-on-one. We've talked about this before. So
Okay.
I wish he was. We could have it on here. But we've played. He acts like he was a different player than the one I saw. But we'll have to settle that. In the off season.
I don't know what it is about you guys, but I swear everybody on the team thinks they can play basketball at a
That's
high level.
true.
It's like the funniest thing.
And
Right.
Jay Higgins claims he's the LeBron James. We actually just had this reel go out.
Yeah, Jay and Deontay Craig are both like Indiana guys, so basketball's huge.
They were on the same
And
AAU team too.
yeah, and they think like, but when we play with them, it's so funny. This all kind of stems from freshman year. This is when you figure out like who's who.
Oh,
Sure.
for sure.
And those two called fouls every single time someone touched.
Really? The
Yep.
defensive guys?
Yep. Which is crazy. To
I just
pick up
lost so
game.
much respect.
Yeah, and I don't know. So
That's
sometimes
great.
maybe if you get physical with it, it won't. A real game. We'll see. But
I feel like I want to do like a charity pickup basketball game with all of the guys that we've had on, like a Talkin Hawks charity basketball
that
game.
would be
Ooh.
awesome.
Our
I like
all-star
this.
basketball game. that like benefits the Children's Hospital or something like that. And just to really see like who's been talking and who.
That's a really good idea, honestly.
We'll have refs so they don't call their own fouls.
Yeah. And you could emphasize, like an all-star approach, like, let's not sprint around, but we're going to get down to business for sure.
That was a long way to say, let's cherry pick so I don't have to run back on defense. That's what that was. I mean, we've had some dudes on. We had Cooper on who said that he can hoop, which we know he can hoop.
Oh, he can hoop. Yeah, that guy can hoop. Yeah. I played with him one time. That was also a moment, what was that, sophomore year of college? I realized basketball wasn't my sport.
Okay.
When I was already, knee deep in football, obviously. Yeah. But when I watched Coop play, I said, okay, I'm not good at basketball.
So good. That's great. Okay, so growing up with one brother, and you guys are, so how many years apart would you be? About 4?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah, something like that.
Was it like super competitive, or were you just far enough that you guys didn't get into it?
I think it was just far enough. It was never close.
Understood.
If I went,
I love that you said that with a grin.
Yeah.
I saw him yesterday, so I'm thinking about this. But if I went easy on him, I'd let him win every once in a while just to keep him coming back.
Okay.
Funny enough, I think it was, oh my gosh, this would have been either spring break or over May break. I played him again. It's kind of a, let's see where your game's at thing. Mm-hmm. It didn't go as well as before. So he's finally like, the thing that was hurting him for a while was the height and the size.
Okay.
He's kind of catching up. So
got it.
I can't just back him down and shoot a layup anymore, my style. But no, it was competitive, playing sports, playing video games, any sort of game. Yeah. Always competitive. Always is with brothers, right?
It's kind of cool too, like offensive line versus linebacker. Mm-hmm. Like, right. So when you were a senior, would he have been a freshman, or would he have not
he
quite
was
been
in 8th grade. It really stunk. So college, we've been on the same timeline of, which stinks for my parents. It's his senior year and mine.
Oh shoot.
And who are they picking?
Well, they have to go back and forth. Like next weekend, my dad's going to Minnesota. My mom's staying back for his homecoming or something. And
gotcha.
They live down there, so obviously I'd give them benefit of the doubt. And this isn't my last time, hopefully, playing football. So that's the other thing. And they've been watching me for a while, so
yes,
but that's parent issues. I'm sure you guys will have to make that decision one day too.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, I actually didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That pulls at the heartstrings of your mom, I'm sure.
I know.
That's gonna be tough to miss either one.
Yeah, it'll be a big transition for both of us at the same time next year. So that's the glory of a 5th year in college.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
So you have to get one of those jerseys that's like cut halfway down.
Cut in half.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing. My high school, black and gold.
Oh, nice.
Different gold though. Gold.
Like old gold.
Like Purdue gold?
Like Purdue gold. Yeah.
Understood.
So,
Okay.
But I wouldn't go to Purdue. Don't worry about that.
Don't get it twisted.
No, definitely.
Don't get twisted.
Gotcha. What's your major?
So I graduated last December with sport and recreation, just like Logan and a few other guys. And so now I'm just in my master's for it. I just figured, I have the 5th year. I try to get as much education as I can, because after the semester, I'm done picking up textbooks. That's for sure.
Yeah. So are you taking like real classes?
Yeah.
Don't do this to him on air.
Well, some guys
I didn't.
Yeah. Matt took like ping pong.
Was that what year
I was already graduated.
Yeah.
So I graduated in would have been spring of 16, and then I had another year because I medically redshirted.
Sure.
So I had another year, and then I had to take 12 credit hours.
Yep.
But I only had to pass 6 to play in the bowl game. So I only passed 6, and I just didn't go to the other 2-3 classes. Should I be ratting myself out?
That's a strategy. That's a strategy you guys take. I think, Coach Ferris brings it up at our spring meetings when he talks about GPAs, and he's like, a few of these guys were seniors kind of on their way out. So
I mean, I had I had like a 3.4 GPA.
Right.
And then I was like, I don't need this anymore.
Sure.
I'm not going to grad school.
But you're taking it seriously. So we're
I'm
not
glad
taking
you
ping
are.
pong.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. So what do you want to do with that eventually? NFL careers.
We're talking like you're 58. You're out of the league.
58?
You just finished the league.
I'm 58 out of the league?
Yeah.
57. You were retired at 57.
Okay. 57.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be a line coach.
Back at your high school?
Yeah, that would work.
Or do you want to be college?
I kind of want to spread around, Kansas City's not too far from here. So, maybe East Coast, West Coast. Texas, actually. That's the wrong answer. Yeah, Texas. Texas is the right answer. I've been wanting to move to Texas for a while now.
Why is that?
I just hear good things. I like country music.
Yeah.
And
Are you a hunter or anything like that?
I am not, but if I lived in Texas, I think I would like it a lot more.
You'd have to turn into a
I'd
hog
have
hunter
to.
for sure.
Yeah.
They got wild hogs everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Feral hogs. My buddy went to, short story, went to New Zealand, did the same thing, but like, I guess there it's not like guns. It's like you corral them with dogs and then stab them with a knife or something. So not to get gruesome on the channel right now, but Texas.
Wait, he paid.
Whoa, let's get back. Texas.
I'm not gonna skim over that.
He's like a big rugby guy, so he went there.
Oh, so okay, that checks
cool.
out.
Yep.
Rugby guys are scary dudes.
Yes, very much. Wrestlers, rugby guys. There's like certain things you look for, and if you're about if you're in an alley and you see cauliflower ear or the guy's got an Australian accent, like turn around. Yeah.
I think I would feel safer.
Really?
I think so. I don't know. I feel like
If that's the other guy.
No.
Your guy is
other side of the street.
I don't have cauliflower ear. And we walked in. Like the guy that was mean to you at Iowa State. Like if he had cauliflower ear, that's the only time I would have been.
I had a fan.
Someone was mean to you at Iowa State?
Mason, I got followed to my car meanly.
As an Iowa fan against Iowa State? That's a shocker.
Yes, it was.
That is scary though.
It was really scary.
The guy, I wasn't there. I get fueled every year we play him on the middle fingers.
Oh,
yeah.
Those.
They do have nice grass over there though.
Yes. I went out there and admired that before the game. It's definitely quality.
Yeah,
high quality.
And it's
they do
early
a
on
good
the
job. That's the
season.
only compliment Coach Ferentz, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
Everybody's on the same page,
but
right?
Like the grass is.
Yeah, it's better than Northwestern and stuff like that. So
Northwestern, Purdue. I swear once you step, you can't find your shoe.
Yeah,
because the grass is so high.
Deep. The Northwestern 21 game, we could reach down and if you grabbed it by like 2 blades, you'd pull out a whole crater of grass. It was crazy.
Oh no way.
Yeah. But hey, football weather, football conditions, and everything. So.
Gotcha.
That's true.
All right. What's your favorite stadium to travel to? Take Iowa State out because of the grass.
Yeah,
we get it.
We've talked about the grass, obviously. Minnesota, definitely.
Why is that?
So I'm excited for this next weekend. Ever since they changed that locker room, I say this like I've been here for 20 years, like Coach Ferentz.
Well, have you?
They switched it when the Vikings played there because it had to be an NFL grade locker room. As far as that's the rumor. Right. So now it's like the most spacious thing in the world.
So I didn't get to play there under the new.
You didn't get to play in the new locker room?
No. Oh, nice.
What year was you last year?
17.
I don't. When?
So
really?
16, I was hurt. 17, I think we played Minnesota.
And it wasn't like a big spacious thing?
We might have been at home in 17. Why am I blanking on 2017?
I don't know. Either way. Well, that's nice.
Either way.
Yes.
NFL locker rooms are massive.
NFL locker rooms are huge. And then I think they're field heated. So even if it's cold, it's money.
Yeah.
This weekend's going to be different because the last 2 times we played there were 2020 and 22. And both were freezing. 22 especially.
Yes. Was that the coldest game, like almost the coldest game in history or something like that there? Or something along those lines?
Yeah, it was Ice Bowl level. I think without that heated field, like I said, it is definitely cold.
Ice Bowl, that's a throwback. Do you know what that game is?
No.
I didn't think so.
Ice on the field, that's all you have to know.
Where at?
Green Bay
and Dallas.
Got it.
I don't know
from Dallas.
Probably Green Bay.
Yeah.
No, but definitely Minnesota. I think it's about the locker room. It's as much as it's not psychological to build a terrible visitor's locker room, it is the smartest thing to do as a college football program because that's
like Northwestern. I feel like you get about this much.
it's alleys. It's like you're on a plane, and everybody's it's bad.
And you're trying to like put the pads on.
Yeah,
you gotta like go outside the locker room.
You're bumping into guy.
Yes.
It's claustrophobic. You know, everybody gets claustrophobic.
I think Maryland was pretty tight too. I don't know if
Maryland's tight. The nice thing is they have so it's about space, and then for me it's about like a place where the team can meet. Because like if Coach Ferentz is talking to the team and you can't see him or like
because they put it like in the middle so you're wrapped around.
It's like tight alley versus Maryland. They have a nice big room. It's just not a lot of space on the lockers, I guess. But there's at least a place where we could gather as a team.
Makes sense.
And play team football and acknowledge that.
Or like Rutgers, you have to walk single file like for 3 miles before
the stairs at Rutgers. I don't. Did you have the stairs or was yours just a long
We were
walk?
in the stadium, but we had to go. We were really long, and then you had stairs down, and then you had to come back up to go out.
Yep. So they built. Now I don't know if they updated it. They built stairs going up. I
From the
guarantee
locker room?
30 steps from the field to the locker room going up.
That's a lot.
And Wrigley was just as bad too. It was the same thing.
Oh,
How was
yeah.
it playing in Wrigley?
So we got there and I was like, oh, I'm sure it'll be nice. I'm thinking of Minnesota, like, oh, this is a professional style locker room and stuff. But
It's also baseball.
you're right, it's baseball. And I'm like, oh, I don't know which dugout we're going to be in. And I figured since we were on, I had only been to Royals games, and I think it's the home side, the first base side of a baseball stadium. I don't know.
Potentially.
But we go in and, I'm like walking, oh, there's a big bullpen and stuff. And then turn the corner, there's 50 stairs.
Oh, shoot.
Guaranteed. So we said, like, all right, at halftime, we're just going to meet in this bullpen area. We're not going to have a guy cramp going up 50 stairs in the middle of November in Chicago.
And that was when you guys were on the same sideline?
Yeah, that was
That's
also
weird,
weird, but definitely a super cool experience, the stadium and stuff like that. So and the grass is better than Northwestern's.
Right.
So that as well.
That makes sense. So playing Minnesota now coming up.
Right.
Can't wait to get to that locker room.
Yep.
But we were talking, we will talk about this a little later on in the podcast, but the We Hate Iowa chant.
Oh,
You don't know about this?
I don't.
Listen.
I might have heard it.
So it's like a thing and it's been going on for a really long time, at least since 2013. Okay. So at the very least, that's just when I saw an article. But they do this, like, who hates Iowa? We hate Iowa. And like they do it everywhere. So like it doesn't matter what team they're playing.
Oh, what Minnesota does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they're playing UCLA, they'll chant this.
Yes. And it's the fans, it's not the players.
Yeah.
But it's just like so crazy because obviously me growing up in Iowa, I was like, I didn't even know that we were that big of rivals, if I'm being honest. Like there's like Iowa State, Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
Like Wisconsin's always a big game.
Yep.
Minnesota, I didn't really see as this like kind of like rivalry.
Yeah.
There's Floyd. That's exciting.
Yep.
But it just wasn't, I don't know if because we've won so much or what it is. But either way, is there any sort of like, oh, we can't wait for this game because there's a trophy on the line, like any of those kind of feelings like going into it?
Yeah.
Or is it more like they're just really into this rivalry?
I think it's mutual. Obviously, it's a rivalry, but last year obviously didn't end the way we wanted to. So we're gonna have
The fair catch
wasn't. Yeah. Well, it's so weird because he did it was like this, and I was like, oh, half of him was saying it was a fair catch, and the other half was a Peter. I don't know. We got it down now. Trust me. Coach Woods brings it up every time we do punt return now. So, we're going to have an empty trophy case in the middle of our weight room. So that feeling does not feel good, obviously. And these games, they just mean a little bit more. Like it'll come down to the same details that Coach Ferentz will preach in the fundamentals. And, but there'll be an extra level, I think, of focus and stuff for us, and especially against a rival like this. And I think all, 4 of our rivals, it's the same thing each week. Right. Like you circled those ones in your mind on the calendar, knowing when those are at. And, Minnesota's a big one. And, talk about history. Like, I think they hate us. It must stem from like the 60s when like they were really dominant and we were pretty good too. So I think it might be from there, but I have not heard this "We Hate Iowa" chant. So unless it's at like, I'm going to definitely hear it now, right? This weekend. So, but they have a good crowd up there, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
We were talking about, you brought up the weight room a little bit.
Yep.
So Logan Jones found out that he's a 700-pound squatter.
Yeah.
And like stupid I think it was 470 in the clean, like 5 something, or maybe it was 6 something in the squat. No, 700 squat and then like 5 something in the bench. Like it was that, I remember like when I came in, I was allergic to the weight room when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Was that?
Me and you both.
So it was a pretty big shell shock.
Yeah.
Getting here.
Yeah. I think of the first days I came in and saw the older guys in that winter phase, like lifting
that winter
4
phase
plates. And 4 plates was a lot to me back then. Like I was like, holy crap.
You're talking on each side, right?
Yes, on each side. Yeah, not total. No.
By the way, a plate is 45 pounds.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So when I saw like what some of these older guys are doing, it was like crazy numbers, and I looked at the records. I was like, gosh, well, and back then I was only 250 pounds when I came in.
Oh yeah, that'll make a difference.
So I was like, you know what? I can put on 60 pounds, get up there. No, it's still a lot of weight on your back. So no, Logan is super strong. He's even just as fast. I mean, his 10-yard is, I think it was 153.
Dang, he's close to 1.4.
Yeah, and I think the record is like I think it's 1.5. 2 or 1 from
So he's right there.
James Daniels.
Oh yeah.
From
James was explosive.
Yeah, he's a great athlete. He's doing well now. He was the only guy in the NFL wearing the Guardian cap in the game.
No, really?
No, I didn't know that.
He had like a
I got
color,
a group chat going with him.
like a colored one. It had the Steelers logo on the side, and like he was wearing it in game.
Well, now I gotta talk to him about it.
Yeah, you guys see
that.
You guys see what that was about. I had no idea.
I lived
You could
with his
even do
brother
that.
in college.
Oh, okay.
So I got to know James pretty well that way. But now I have to ask him.
Yeah. But no, the weight room stuff is, once you first get there, it's crazy. We had young guys today, like, the older guys in the season, it's 2 days a week. Younger guys today, they had max squat.
Yeah,
right?
they're Devo. They get after
As a
it.
Devo guy, it was crazy. So, it's definitely another beast in there. But once you get over the top of that, like, that's when you start to feel like, okay, I'm ready for the season type of deal. I think so. Definitely can make the most out of that, out of any position, right?
Yeah.
So it's been good for me, been good for Logan, been good for all the old linemen.
What do you do on your like off time? What's your hobbies?
So during the season, if I'm not eating, I'm probably hanging out, watching movies. I'm a movie guy.
What's your favorite movie?
You gotta say movies, but movie
Movies.
just because it's so hard, you think
Genre.
No, but favorite movie, Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
It's a rare that's not a go-to comedy for a lot of people, but I
would have expected
die
that
laughing
one.
every time I watch. I've got like 3 Wedding Crasher shirts that people get me. So,
That's awesome.
I love that. Love comedies. Love laughing. And if I'm not watching those, I might mix in a Marvel movie every now and again, or some like, I love watching the Batmans too, the Dark Knight. And for me, so I'm a movie guy, like I say. It takes me like 2 or 3 times to watch a movie to finally understand like what it's about.
Oh,
that sounds, Mason,
like Mason. Are you okay?
Are we? Yeah.
Are you okay?
I don't
That's a
think
good
it's
initial
that far
response.
off.
Have you hit your head too many times?
When I watch a
don't do
movie
that.
originally, people make fun. Jeremy Chaplin, the line, he's a big movie guy, so he makes fun of me. He's like, "No crap, that's what it was about." I'm watching it. When I first watch a movie, I'm like, "Oh, that was a cool movie." It's like a picture book, right?
Oh, sure.
Then I turn on the subtitles. Then it's like, okay. Then subtitles again, and I got it down now. Like have you guys watched the new Dune movies?
No.
We have not.
You should, for
Okay.
one. They're really good.
3 times though.
Yeah.
Watched
I
them
had to
3
watch the
times.
first one 3 times to like understand. Because at first I understand characters, then it's like, all right, I got to understand plot, and it's like, what the meaning is
Are you
behind
gonna
the
be a
movie.
movie critic?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
This is so funny.
This is
yeah,
wild.
it takes me a while. And, the comedies, I like watching those because you just sit there and laugh. That's what the movie's about. It's
Right.
like, no, he made a joke. There's no meaning to that. But no, Wedding Crashers is my favorite movie to say the least.
Got it. Have you ever seen Just Go With It?
Yes.
That's my favorite movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I like it.
How many times
Yeah.
have you seen it?
Do you
At
know what
least
it's
3.
about?
5 or 6 probably?
It's
So you know what it's about.
Yeah, I do.
I've got it,
The
like,
funniest guy in that
memorized.
one is the guy who's the German
Dolph
boyfriend.
Lundgren?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like
Yes.
saved the life of the
No,
chief.
it's
That's
so dumb.
so funny.
It's just one of those movies where like, this is so stupid. But
I
like,
know.
it's an effortless one. Like you
Yep.
say, like you can just sit back and
Sit
laugh
back,
at it.
Laugh.
There's nothing to like, oh, I wonder. No.
Right.
Like, you know what they mean by it.
No,
and
comedy
that's
movies,
it.
I get them right away.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
just people being people. It's
Yeah.
it's the crazy drama ones that I don't understand. So
Okay.
yeah.
There we go.
That's
right.
fair.
Yeah,
That
like the
disclaimer is
ones that are
important.
winning like Oscars, it's like, why is this winning an Oscar?
Totally.
I have to watch it 3 times to find out.
Like,
why.
did
No.
you watch The Revenant?
I've seen half.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
I did, but
you like
it?
You don't get it?
I've only seen it once. I don't know what it's about.
Okay.
Locally owned and operated, Performance is a full-service restoration company serving Eastern Iowa.
As an IICRC certified firm, their multi-licensed technicians have decades of experience in water, mold, and fire mitigation. Whether it's your home or business, this is the team you want in a time of need. Performance Restoration, 319-626-2292.
Hey Hawk fans, looking for the perfect spot to fuel up before or celebrate after a Hawkeye win? Look no further than Marquee Pizzeria, located in the vibrant Iowa River Landing.
Their wood-fired pizzas have truly changed the pizza game.
Whether you're cheering on the Hawkeyes or just searching for a delicious meal, Marquee Pizzeria is the place to be. Swing by and experience the best pizza in Iowa. Go Hawks.
When it comes to keeping our home comfortable, we trust only the best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating. Whether it's fixing a leaky sink, keeping the house cool, or making sure the furnace runs smoothly in winter, Loudon Plumbing and Heating is our go-to. For reliable service, trust the corridor's best. Loudon Plumbing and Heating.
Looking to make a splash online in Eastern Iowa? Digital Boost is your local go-to digital marketing agency. They help local businesses connect with their ideal customers online.
Digital Boost has a diverse client base, ranging from small businesses to industry leaders, including well-known brands like DNR Pest Control and Advanced Millwork.
Visit their website at www.digitalboostia.com to learn more or contact them for a free in-person consultation. That's another thing that you like to do is play video games.
Sure.
Okay. What do you play?
Nothing anymore.
Oh, okay.
Right now. So the NCAA football game,
Yeah.
I don't own it. I gave it to one of the older guys who left.
There's an older guy than you?
Huh? Yeah. Well, a guy who graduated.
Okay, I was
Sure.
like, you go older guys. I was
No.
like, you're the older
I'm
guy.
a senior. Yes, I am. But I gave it to one of them just because I didn't have. They made you got to get the PS5 or the Xbox Series. You got to get the brand new console.
No.
I got the used hand-me-down one. You know, it's
What do you play?
pay to play.
Got it.
But I played Call of Duty last year. I'm terrible at the first-person shooter games and stuff. I just love being with the boys and hanging out.
So
and
you're more
chilling.
about being on the headset.
Yeah, like I'm about like talking trash, playing with the guys. I like those. I like the sports ones.
That's how I know he's not a true gamer. When he just says the sports ones.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's all
it's
right.
pretty general there. But
Uh-huh.
I was playing that old NCAA 14 for a long time.
Okay.
Yep. And when it was on the 360, because I had a 360 and that was fun. So
You didn't get did you get the 3 Rings of Death then eventually and then you had to move on?
oh no. This was a slim Xbox 360. So
Oh,
this was
wow.
more of a small circle that you'd press. So it lasted a really long time and I sold it. Get this. I sold it to Connor Colby. $50. Guess what he does? Turns around and sells it for $100 to Video Game Etc. I look like a complete idiot, and I was just trying to be a good guy.
Did
I'm
he
like, hey, does
bamboozle
anyone
you?
want to buy this in the line room? Huh?
That was it?
No, he didn't give me the profit or nothing. No, it's just
Well, I mean,
like,
he didn't try to swindle you. You were just kind of like, take it for $50.
yeah, he was like
yeah.
$50, take it or leave it, and no one else offered me anything, so that was the winning bid. It was a pretty short auction there, but when he turned around and sold, I was like, he's a good businessman. That's one thing.
Yeah,
so
but your trust
yeah, the
dwindled a
trust
little
was
bit.
down on that one.
Went
yeah.
down a little bit.
Yeah, but
Huh.
it just helps. He'll pay for a meal for me, in the
Oh, there you
future.
go.
I'll be able to use that. It's leverage. So,
Yeah. Speaking of meals, what did you do to gain your weight?
good
you
question.
said you were 250 when you got here.
Yep.
And what do you weigh now?
I got on the scale because I had to make sure I could eat dinner tonight. I weighed 314.
The only questions that you ask athletes, by the way.
Yeah, of
Just
course.
ask a random man.
Yeah,
on the
because we're
street
all
these
about our body.
questions.
We
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about body weight all the time.
Yeah.
It's all I think of all the time now.
So how much weight is that? Like 60 pounds?
Yeah,
collectively?
64.
Oh, it's almost
64
70.
pounds?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great. Okay, so that's a lot to gain in
Yeah.
like 4-ish, 5-ish years.
Right.
So how did you do that?
COVID helps.
Okay.
So I was stuck in my house, but I would say mostly it was on peanut butter and jellies.
Okay.
Before I went to bed, that was like the first thing I learned when I got there was
I did do that in the dorms.
eat PB&J and drink a Core Power, the 42-gram protein shake.
Yeah.
So your stomach's just full of dairy products
Sugar.
and sugar and
Yes.
white bread. And you just feel awful when you're sleeping, but life of being a football player, you got to do it. So I did that. I think I could have. I think I could have had a 6-pack at this weight if I would have not ate the Gatorade protein bars. Are they?
Oh.
You guys aren't sponsored by Gatorade protein, are you? Okay, so
No.
I can bash them right now. Their protein bars are 26 grams of sugar for 20
There's
grams
so
of
much.
protein.
There's so much sugar in all the Gatorade, though.
Dude.
Right.
What? Hold on. 26 grams of sugar in how
At
much
least.
protein?
20 grams. So you're
Wow.
getting
Oh.
fatter. I don't know. I'm not a nutritionist, but
Yeah.
that's not in simple person terms. That's not good.
No.
And I regret it. Like there were so many
Do they
other
taste
protein
really
bar
good?
options. Yeah, they tasted good. Of course, they have 26 grams of sugar in them. But
It's true.
if I would have chosen a 20 gram with a 3 gram sugar, maybe
What would you choose now?
maybe I would have been able to run a route or something at this.
Let's not get carried away. What would you choose
Go
now?
on, go on. Run a route, a fade.
Sorry, 88 for the
Yes.
reserve tight end.
Yes.
What's the go-to now? Like if you're gonna go back, like What would you change it to?
I would change it to Quest.
Oh,
They're
that's
pretty
fun.
good.
fun.
They're like, I think they're 20 to 1.
I feel like
Yeah.
Quest has been
There's
around
a
for long
blueberry
time.
muffin one that's pretty close to a blueberry muffin.
Have you seen where people microwave those?
Really?
Yeah, it was a thing for a really long time
I don't
in
think I've
like
seen
diet
And like
culture.
melt them or what?
I don't know what it does something to them. Look it up, like microwaving a Quest bar. I don't know if it like cooks it into a something. I'm telling you, it's
Just turns into like
This sounds so sketchy.
If it's a birthday cake one, you can microwave it, just turns into a piece of birthday cake.
it'll come out a blueberry muffin.
Yeah, right.
Totally. You'll
No.
be like, best day ever.
Okay.
You have to look it up.
Yeah,
And
I
then
might
people are
actually try
putting,
that
like,
tomorrow.
You know what you need to get?
Huh.
A Ninja Creamy. Have you seen these?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking about getting one.
Okay.
Reviews. My reviewer is Connor Colby again. There's the second name drop here, but he said you won't use it as much as you think. For
really?
me.
Is it a pain in the
But
butt?
yeah, I mean, you got to work in advance, right? It's like 24 hours or a couple days. You got to freeze it before you
That's
put it in, right?
We don't
You're
have
talking about the
one.
ice cream one, right?
yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I
You don't
feel
have
like,
one, but you love it?
Oh no, I've just seen a lot of things on it.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking of things that like people do to like get extra protein,
Yes, to get
like a
that
sneaky
tastes
way.
good. Yeah.
That would taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Quest bars are nasty.
I also think that.
Yeah, you know, like you say, protein bars. Like it's tough now because I had Gatorade bars for 3 months there.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know if I could eat one again without just going back in
Yeah.
dark times.
Dark times.
Dark times.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
When we were talking to Logan Lee, he was telling us about his shakes that he used to make himself.
yeah.
Or, like,
Oh, yeah.
still does.
At the facility.
Anywhere,
No,
like at
no.
home,
Oh, yeah.
anywhere to just like gain weight. And it was just repulsive. So I didn't know if you had something like weird you used to do.
No, I didn't do that. I know what he does though. His is the hard boiled eggs,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the
Well, barely
big
cooked
Sur,
eggs.
Big Sur bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Big Sur bars are actually good.
They're good. 600 calories.
Well, yeah.
That's like half a piece of chicken.
I
It's like
ate
half
every
of a day
meeting.
for some
I don't know.
people.
Every meeting we had, I pounded one of those.
Really?
So I was on the other end.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
you
came
had
into
to
college.
gain.
I was 162 when I showed up to.
Really?
Yeah.
How much are you now?
Right now I'm about 185, but I was 190.
Okay.
My goal weight was 194 my senior year.
Yeah.
But then slimmed down a little bit. I played my best football about 189.
The best thing I did have though, when I first was there, we had the old rule of you have to be within 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Guys these days have they got it easy. It's 4 pounds within the window.
Either side.
Yes. That's like 8 pounds total.
Hmm.
For linemen. Skill guys, it's 3. But still. Well, it used to be 1, right?
We were
one on
2.
each side?
We got 2.
2 on each side?
Yeah. So maybe
So that was everybody.
Yeah. Everybody was 2 on
Now
each
it's
side.
like skill guys have to be within a certain weight, but linemen get 8 pounds each way.
That's so disheartening.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. Like weight is unpredictable though.
Yes.
Just like the average body, like even just like a non-athlete, you fluctuate so much on
Sure.
like a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And then you throw in the fact that you're like sweating your butt off
Mhm.
playing this past Saturday, right? Like when it's humid and it's hot and all the things. So
Yeah.
it's got to be kind of hard to manage in something you're thinking about all of the time.
I would like to know how much I lose on game day. I
bet.
probably should know, but I know going in, I could feel as heavy as I could be, and I'll feel just fine on the other side.
Yeah.
I'll actually feel hungry on the other side. Like,
Huh.
I bet I lose 7-8 pounds. I mean, do you think that's right? How much?
That's probably about even. I'm thinking of like camp practices.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
Sloat. So Brett Van Sloten was a lineman. He would drop 13 to 18 pounds, somewhere in there
Yep.
after practice.
Is that the most you ever heard of? 18
Yes.
pounds? I think the most I've heard. Mark Kallenberger, do you know him?
Yeah.
He used to lose like 15 pounds at practice.
The-
And we had another guy who was also losing 15 pounds. And, they're just full body cramping in the locker room because they can't keep up. It's just,
Golly. Well,
it's a
then
lot. But
that's a lot.
the good thing about, the best thing about the food and weight is going to bed, like waking up in the morning, like knowing like I just got the best sleep of my life and I lost 4 pounds. It's like, all right, that's a double win. It's like, it's never a win-lose scenario in that case.
That's
Like the
fair.
metabolism always is kicking in. So
Yeah. Well, if you
Always
want to feel
feels
better
good.
about your Gatorade bars, when Matt, his like senior year before bed, he would make a Jack's frozen pizza,
really,
fold it in half and eat it like
those
a
things are getting
sandwich.
expensive now.
Are they really? They used to be like $1.
I think they're like 4
they were
something.
really cheap.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Dude.
maybe 3. They're $3.99, I bet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyways,
So I'd do that
Sandwich?
protein shake, and then I would wake up and have a protein shake and a sandwich in the middle of the night.
it's the double
At like
whammy
2
of the
a.m.
protein shake before you go to bed and as soon as you wake up.
no,
No,
like
at
2
like
a.m.
2
I would
a.m.
wake up at 2.
You set an alarm?
Yes.
to get up and drink a protein shake and then go back to bed.
Hey,
and
you
then
were
do
committed
it.
to it though then.
I was unbelievably under my entire life.
No
So, like,
choice.
So like
No
if,
choice,
if-
actually.
let's say I weighed 166. My
Yeah.
goal weight the next week would be 169, and I only get 2 pounds.
Right.
So no matter what, I had to gain weight.
And you had the warm up. Wasn't
You know
that
how
that was
devastating that
yes.
warm-up was?
You had to look out there and like, all right, we got small bands, we got we got neck,
Well,
we got a
it's
little
like,
speed warm up. That's you're like doing the mental math. All right, it's 3 pounds. All right, I gotta be 3 pounds over the 2 pound limit.
okay, so I got a protein shake. I got 2 waters. I got to drink it as soon as we get done. I'm one of the last guys weighing in because we did it after the warm up.
Yeah,
Now, do you guys still do it after? We
Yeah.
used to do it before, and then they changed it to after.
really. We do it after now.
We also had a kid. He got caught putting Powerades in his shorts.
Yep.
And so we had to go down to compressions for a little bit there because they just had to make sure.
Yep. Now, the worst I've seen, I saw someone have a toe hitch within their compressions to make weight. Out of all choices, they had like a separate external toe hitch. I'd seen that. I was like, come on, just drink a couple waters or have another steak, dude. Oh, yeah, I've seen toe hitch and with the bigger guys, we had a
I've seen one guy with just a sock.
just a sock on.
Just a sock over because he was overweight.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
We had one guy was extra heavy, and every day you'd see him, and he'd weigh in, and there was a cooler or a
Don't tell me you would push off.
the hand. Yep, he would push off. Put a little weight on gravity. I think that's how it works or something. But we could really be mathematicians as Iowa football players for the amount of like, all right, how much do I have to drink to like make like you're
That's
just
real.
terrified. When it was 2, I was really scared like every day because you'd go in and it's like if you had one long warm up, you're not going to make weight. Yeah. So
And because you're as adamant about this as I am like determined that when you drink water, pound in, you get the pound. Like I've got a pound of water in my hand. If I drink it, I'll get a pound.
Yep.
It's not the same with food.
No,
Do you believe that as well?
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
Food.
I was told I was crazy. I was like, no, if you eat a pound of food right now,
water
it's
weight.
not
Water
going
weight's a
to.
thing, right? And
Yeah.
it's like that's why the wrestlers like they got it worse than us. You guys got to have
Oh,
a wrestler
yeah.
on and ask them about it. Like,
Oh yeah.
We've had Spencer Lee talk about it a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I could not imagine what they go through. Like they fluctuate more than us, but
Yeah.
the water, it probably does weigh more. It just, I think it travels faster. That might.
Well, the food, for whatever reason, I'm telling you, like I would eat something before and I would not see the payoff. And I'm like,
Food might
screw
have
this,
more
I'm gonna do this
nutrients,
later.
maybe. It turns into something else or something.
Maybe it's
Oh, that's
energy
fair.
that burns as soon as
Yeah.
You've
it
given
gets
us
there.
a lot of nutrition facts today, Mason, that are like,
I know. I sound
Very
smart, don't I?
surface layer, yeah.
Is that good? Is that, am I doing a really good job? No,
You know, it's the suit.
yeah,
that's what it is.
Obviously.
It gives you more credibility.
sure.
I totally believe
Sure.
that.
Halfway to a doctorate wearing this thing.
Really close.
One other thing I would add about the food is I was thinking about this on the way over because I knew food was come up, honestly. But one rule my grandpa taught me, pass it down to my mom. If you sit down, you can't get up until your plate is clean.
Oh,
So no crumbs, no nothing.
fair.
Yep. No matter what you get, you better get enough that it feeds you. And like a first
Yep.
plate, definitely. Like
Right.
second plate, it's like, all right, you're good. Like you did your best effort. There.
did
You
your
tried to do the most. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's
So,
funny.
I've always had the mindset of a big guy. So that's always helped.
I was going to ask you too. Are your parents tall?
No,
Really?
my
And how tall is your brother?
6'2".
How's that
I know,
happen?
luck, I guess. But
Weird.
my dad, his uncles were like 6'8" or something like that. He's
Okay.
only 5'11", my dad. So and my mom's 5'9", 5'8".
That's tall for a girl, though.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait, how tall are you?
5'6".
Okay.
That's average.
That's still average to above average, I'd say.
oh yeah,
honestly.
slightly above
I mean, it's
average.
like what, 5'5"?
You're hitting me with nutrition facts again, like
Yeah.
biology or something. Like, what is
I
this?
know. It's all this time I spent around Jennings Dunker and Kale Krogh and all these guys who are going to be doctors or something. So
Oh, got it.
James
anyways.
Dunker's gonna be a doctor.
he's trying to be.
Oh, we need to have him on.
Yeah, you should.
He doesn't have the look of a doctor.
No, I know. That's the funniest part. Like, imagine if he came in and was like, all right, I got your test. Do you have your own test right now? Like,
Yeah.
are you on steroids,
Are
dude?
you just like the delivery guy for this?
What were we talking about?
Um,
Height. Yeah, my dad's side. So my dad's side is all tall, but he's not tall, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do your parents
He's
do?
not a runt of a litter, but he's like the third runt.
That's so weird. At what point were you taller than him? What age did you?
Oh, that was a great time, wasn't it? Like as soon as you get taller than your parents, I felt like I was top of the world.
Yep.
I think 6th or 7th grade.
No way.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I was 6'3", 8th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I grew just 3 inches a year, just a balanced 3 inches every year as a kid.
Did you have growing pains?
No, I thought I had Osgood-Schlatters I probably pronounced that wrong, but as a freshman, because I was growing too fast. Or actually, it was because I was putting on way too fast. Growing pains, no. I was supposed to be, the doctors, I don't know, they're probably already telling your kids like, they're going to be, 6 foot something?
Sure. Yeah.
What do they know? They're like, told me you're going to be 6'7", between 6'7" and 6'10" when I was in like 4th or 5th grade.
Buddy, you're 6'8". We
Yeah.
already talked about this.
Yeah,
with
we
the
did
pro days
already.
guys.
That was
They were
mentioned
right.
earlier.
No.
But no growing pains. I think it's just because I went through a balanced 3 inches a year. So
Got it.
I guess if you want to do that, if you want to grow 3 inches a year, that
you're
one.
looking there,
If you want to grow 3 inches a year, just clean your plate every time you eat. That's what you got to do, I guess. So
Understood.
That is the most lineman answer I think we could have been given at all.
I like that a
Perfect.
lot. Oh, Mason. Well, this was so great.
yeah,
Thank you so much for coming in.
of course.
This was like one of the most entertaining interviews we've had.
Yes,
That's
and
good.
full disclosure, we're gonna have food after we
Yeah,
record. So
of course.
Yeah.
Have
We
to.
went every which way.
I
though.
wasn't going to show up. They didn't have to. I'm just kidding.
So
That's
glad we
fair.
promised.
No, thank you
That's
guys
fair.
so much for having me. And
Yeah,
It's been a good
pleasure.
time.
absolutely. Well,
Yep.
wish you the best of luck this season, and
Thank
then
you.
obviously when the draft and all the other things come up, we'll be watching.
Of
and
course.
might have to just do another episode
That'd be great.
as we get on to that point. But thank you so much again, and enjoy Minnesota's locker room.
I will. Thank you.
Well, we hope you loved this episode and the interview. And like we said, it's a bye week, so we don't have anything to preview. We hope you'll come back next week. We're going to have a fantastic interview. And then, of course, we will be previewing the Ohio State game at Ohio
It's gonna be a
State.
good one.
It's going to be a good one. Why did you come in so quickly like that? But in the meantime, make sure you are liking and subscribing on both of the YouTube channels that we post on. So, of course, it's on the Talk About Network, but then we put the extended interviews and episodes over on the Talkin Hawks channel. So if you haven't gone over and subscribed to that one, make sure you're doing that as well. And then, of course, on social media, TikTok, X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you haven't followed us and aren't liking our reels and all of our posts yet, please make sure you're doing that. We just appreciate all of your support and all of you coming back week after week after week for Talkin Hawks, brought to you by Hillsbank. We will be back next week, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.